Denouement. Took 24 hours to get to New York, but because I crossed the international date line going west, I got there only a few hours after I left Kathmandu. I grabbed a cab and nervously fidgeted as the driver fought the heavy traffic into the city, hoping that I wouldn't be too late. When he pulled up in front of our building, I gave him a fistful of cash without even counting it. I took the elevator to the loft. I heard the party before I saw it. Ralph knew how to throw a party. Mom and I were a little weak in that area. There would be no less than 75 people in the loft. Parents and their kids, teachers from GSS, neighbors, people from Mom's bookstore, lawyers from Ralph's office. Last year for entertainment, Ralph had hired a group of performing dogs. The year before, he brought a reptile woman, Helen the herpetologist, the twins' favorite, with bags of snakes, turtles, and lizards. It turned out that I was the entertainment this year. At least that's what it looked like when I walked through the front door. "I told you he would be here! I did too!" The two P's dropped their presents and threw their little arms around my thighs. Mom was next, then Rolf. I told myself that I wasn't going to cry, but that idea was right out the window as soon as I saw them. As we hugged, everyone sang happy birthday. When everything had settled down a little, Mom pulled me into the kitchen and asked me how I was. I told her that I was tired and a little sore. "You've lost weight." "I guess." She looked at me for a moment, then gave me another hug. "I'm glad you're back." "Me too." "So, you didn't make it to the summit?" "How'd you know that?" "Josh called me this morning. Said to tell you happy birthday." "That was a first. Where was he?" "He didn't say. Somewhere up the mountain. The connection wasn't very good. It reminded me of the old days." "I bet," I said. "I know I should have called, but wanted it to be a surprise." "It was still a surprise," Mom said. "I didn't think that you'd get here in time for the birthday, although the two P's insisted I was wrong." "Is everything okay here? I mean, is it all right that I come back? Your skyscraper stunt is old news, and Rolf and I are trying to keep it that way." "What do you mean trying?" "Holly Angelo." "Uh-oh. She's been hanging around a lot." "I'm sorry." "No, it's okay. I kinda like her, and the twins are wild about her. Rolf, well, he tolerates her. We talked to her into not writing about your Everest trip. It would just bring up the whole skyscraper thing again, and we don't want to do that, especially now that you're back in town. It's best if we—" Rolf opened the door with an apologetic, worried look on his face. "Peek!" Holly pushed him aside as she assaulted the kitchen, wearing a bright pink pantsuit, lime green scarf, and a red purse the size of a suitcase. I let her throw her spidery arms around me and actually hugged her back. It was good to see her. When she finally set me free, she glanced furtively around the kitchen as if she were looking for spies. "I heard you didn't make it up to the summit," she whispered. "I'm sorry." "How did you find out?" "I've talked to Josh several times the past couple days. He was being pretty chatty, it seemed." Holly put her red purse on the counter and looked around again, then pulled out the newspaper. "This is about to hit the streets. Youngest Person Summits Everest" by Holly Angelo. It was a full-page spread with several photos taken from the video that I had shot. The biggest photo was of Sanjo, Yogi, and Yash sitting next to the summit pole. "I think there's a book in this," Holly said. "I talked to Sanjo today. He said to say hello and to wish you a happy birthday. He also told me that he's enjoying the birthday present that you gave him, and so are his sisters." I smiled. "What did you get him?" Holly asked. "Nothing much," I said. "I'd better go out and mingle." Rolf gave me a doubtful look. I said hello to a few people, got a tour of the twins' presents, and then noticed Vincent sitting in the corner by himself, gathering grist. I was surprised to see him. We always invited him to the parties, but he rarely showed up. "Thanks for coming," I said. "I was just about ready to leave when you walked through the door," Vincent said. "You've had an interesting few weeks." "You read the Moleskine?" I said. "Yes, and it was well written. Unfortunately, there's only a beginning and a partial middle to the story. Even though you managed to fill the Moleskine, I'm afraid the assignment is incomplete. The story lacks a climax, an end, and a denouement. So I cannot—" "There's a second Moleskine," I said. I'm not sure about the climax, but the story does have an end. Kind of. And I'm right in the middle of the denouement. Literally. I pointed at the partygoers. Vincent smiled. Of course, I see your point. How about if I finish it up tomorrow morning? That'll be fine. I'll be at the GSS until noon. School's out for the summer and the deadline for your assignment has passed, but under the circumstances, I think we can make an exception. He stood up. And again, it's a well-crafted story. You've left me hanging, and I'm desperate to find out what happened. I'm sitting in my bedroom finishing the Moleskine. The twins were awake, and I heard giggling and arguing as they were in their mid-morning snack. I promised to take them to GSS with me when I dropped off the Moleskine. Here they come, with their little feet pattering up the steps. The door opens. What are you doing? You said you'd take us to school. I'm working on my assignment. What's this? Patrice pointed at the newspaper article about Sun Joe pinned on the bulletin board. Is that you? Paula asked, pointing at Sun Joe. No. What are those flags? Prayer flags. What's a prayer flag? There's a prayer written on the flag. When it blows in the wind, the prayer goes up to God. If you put the flag really high on the mountain, the prayer gets to God faster. Looks like that yellow one has a blue mountain on it, like the one you used to draw. Could be. Now, sit down on my bed and be quiet so I can finish this. We missed you, Peek. We love you, Peek. I love you too, and I'm almost finished. I look at the twins smiling and write my last sentence. The only thing that you'll find on the summit of Mount Everest is a divine view. The things that really matter lie far below.